Hey everyone, Hassan here. I got another Power Rangers Super Megaforce review for you today. This is Wave 4 of the 5-inch figures in the Super Megaforce toy line. Wave 1 was the main Super Megaforce Rangers. Wave 2 was Prince Vicar and the X-Borg. Wave 3 was a bunch of the legendary Rangers, including most of the Red Rangers, and then one of the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. Now we have more Red Rangers in Wave 4, as you can see, as well as Samurai Gold. So we got Red Zeo, Red Lightspeed Rescue, Red Wild Force, Red Ninja Storm, Red Jungle Fury, Red RPM, Samurai Gold. So yeah, pretty cool. They're going to try and release all of the Red Rangers as well as a couple of other 6th Rangers. So we'll have more waves coming in the future, but this is Wave 4. Out now, it's popping up in stores, Toys R Us's website. Amazon doesn't have it yet, but I'm sure they'll get it soon. So that's that. Let's kind of take a close-up look at the boxes to some of these. Move my camera forward a little. Alright, so first up, let's take a look at the box for the Red Zeo Ranger. So all of the boxes have the Super Megaforce logo and Super Megaforce Red right there. And then you have the actual Ranger image there, the season logo, Zeo Red Ranger Action Hero. There he is. So there's the side of the box there, side there. Everything else is kind of the same. The back of the box, however, is different. In the past, it just showed you whatever Rangers were in the waves. If I just grab one of the old boxes I have sitting around, something like this, it just showed you whatever Rangers were released. Now they actually have bios for the Rangers, and they even re-released like Super Megaforce Red, I think, a couple of the other Rangers in these waves, and they actually put bios on the back of those guys too, but I'm not going to buy it just for different packaging. It's the same figure. But this is it. In this wave, it lists these 8 Rangers, except Mighty Morphin White was not in this wave, so I guess they kind of changed things at the last second. They will be releasing all of the Mighty Morphin figures in 5-inch form, so I'll wait until, you know, I get all of those and kind of group him in with that review, probably. That's what I'm thinking. But all the other 7 are out now. So here are the bios. I'm not going to like read through it, but you can pause the video and see that right there. It kind of tells you a brief little bio, the season, the Ranger name, Tommy, his weapons, and the Zords right there. So pretty cool. So he does come with the 2 weapons right there, which are named the Zeo Pistol and Zeo Blade. So he does come with those. So we'll, you know, take a look at those when we open them up. Then we have the Lightspeed Rescue Red Ranger, Carter. So there he is right there. Looks pretty cool. I do have some of these figures from like in the past seasons when they released, so I will be doing comparisons as well. But here is his bio. So, oh gosh, it's been so long since I've seen it. I don't recognize that weapon at all. It's been so long since I've seen the season. But there is his stuff there, so you can pause the video and read that if you want. So pretty cool. I do like that they did those bios. I think it's actually pretty cool. It makes the back of the box, you know, the packaging a bit more interesting. And even for the kids who may not be familiar with these guys. Here's Wild Force Red. You know, because now the seasons are on Netflix. Now people are watching the current seasons, but kids don't know about some of these Rangers. So it gives them a bit more information. And maybe will make them want to read more about them. Who knows? Here is the bio for the Wild Force Red Ranger. So there's that. I ordered from Toys R Us's website, and as you can see, the packaging was very terrible. A couple of the boxes were damaged like this. The figures themselves look okay, but like this is just nonsense. So avoid ordering from ToysRUs.com if you can. I only did it because they released there first, and I wanted to get these figures so I didn't have to hunt them down in the stores. And Amazon's being slow at doing it. So here is Ninja Storm Red. I do have the Ninja Storm figure from when Ninja Storm was on TV, so I will do a comparison of that as well. But like, look at this packaging, how bent up it is and stuff. That's messed up. And then there is his information right there, so you can pause the video and read all about Shane, the Ninja Storm Red Ranger. Alright, next up we have, returning in Super Megaforce, or rather he already has returned, Casey, the Jungle Fury Red Ranger. Pretty cool to see him back on the show. He didn't morph into the Jungle Fury Red Ranger or anything, but it was awesome seeing him back on there. The Order of the Claw, as you all know. So there's that symbol, the Jungle Fury Red Ranger. And here is the back. So you can pause the video and read all about Casey. All right, so pretty awesome, and he's written some episodes on Super Megaforce, which is pretty cool. We have the RPM Red Ranger. There we go. He looks pretty sweet. I do have the RPM Red Ranger for comparison from when RPM was on TV. There is his bio. So you can read all about Scott. Pretty cool. And last but not least, we have Antonio, the Samurai Gold Ranger. There he is. He really doesn't look very gold. And once I open him up, I'll kind of get a better look at him, but the gold looks very dull. I'm kind of disappointed, at least initially. Like, look at that. Look at how shiny it is. A little too shiny from this picture. But the toy does not reflect that. But there's the back of the box right there, talking all about Antonio, who we don't have a last name for, so he is just Antonio. So there you go. But there's that. So yeah, I'm excited to open these up. So I'll open them up. I'll do comparisons with, you know, if I actually had any of these figures from previous seasons, I'll do that. I'll show you all of the 5-inch figures from Super Megaforce that have been released, and let's have some fun with these. So let's get started. Alright, so here they are out of the box. All 7 of the Wave 4 5-inch figures. And they look pretty good. I really do like these. The 5-inch figures have been pretty awesome so far, especially having them all together. Just growing up, I never got the chance to buy toys from every season. There's some seasons that I missed out on, like for example, Jungle Fury and everything. So it's awesome to finally have Red Rangers, at least, from every season, and you know, as long as they do end up releasing the rest of them. But still, you know, it's still pretty sweet. So let's start, you know, from the left right there with Zeo. Here it is. Here is the Zeo Red Ranger. Now, all of these figures have a slightly muscular look to them. That is standard across the 5-inch figures. So if you're not really a fan of that, you know what? I mean, then don't buy Power Rangers toys, because quite honestly, I haven't seen any Power Rangers toys that aren't muscular like this, aside from like the original Mighty Morphin flip head figures or something, which were just big blocks almost. Oops, I'm knocking over the camera here. And actually, in terms of the muscularness, they're actually not that bad at all. So I actually am completely fine with the way they did these figures. I really do like it. But the Red Zeo Ranger here comes with what I believe is, according to the back of the box, the Zeo pistol and Zeo blade. It's been so long since I've seen it, so can't remember the names exactly. But yeah, these are your standard weapons. They're just completely white colored, which, you know, would have been nice to have some paint, but as with these, the 5-inch figures and everything, it's kind of been a trend to not really have paint on them. And they're white, so of course you can't really even see them. So just a teeny bit of detail on them, not really too much. They do go on the side of the Ranger, so you can peg it in right there, you know, if you wanted to. So I'll peg in that right there, and I can peg in this on that side. So, you know, they do fit in on the side there as well. But in terms of like articulation and everything, these 5-inch figures are pretty much all the exact same from what I could tell in articulation. They all have the head that rotates around 360 degrees. The arms rotate around 360 degrees, and they move upwards, you know, completely like that. They do have, they can bend at the elbow, and then they rotate around the full glove, basically, not just the hand, but the full glove rotates around. Then in terms of the legs, they can do the splits like so. The legs can move completely forward. Back, not quite as much, but still a decent amount, unless you kind of like bend it and do the split somewhat. But then they do bend at the knees as well, and the boots rotate around 360 degrees. So, yeah. So some pretty good articulation. I mean, pretty standard for the 5-inch figures. Nothing too crazy going on there. But it looks pretty good. I mean, I really do like it. I think the Zeo one looks slightly odd to me right here, because it feels like this design's supposed to go like diagonal a little and then finish off like over the shoulder, but it just kind of cuts upwards. So that part looks slightly odd to me, but overall, I mean, I think it looks great. The red paint that they use is standard across all the figures, so it definitely is very unifying to have all the same red paint. The gold, excuse me, is also standard across wherever they use gold, and it's a nice gold that really pops out and looks good. So yeah, I really do like the look of these figures. As you can see, some nice detail on the actual, you know, design there and everything, including the little belt. You can kind of make out the individual symbols just a teeny bit on there. So some nice little detail on stuff like that. And you know, you can see on the cuffs there and everything. So yeah, I mean, overall, pretty good figure. I do like it. So there's that. On to Lightspeed Rescue. For the Zeo Ranger, I never really had the full one. I only had a Zeo Ranger, the red one that came with the bike or something. So I never really had a full one to really compare to. But here is the Lightspeed Rescue Red Ranger, as you can see right there. So again, some nice gold paint that they use that really pops out. Pretty nice. Very simple, you know, design for the belt buckle and everything, but it looks good. They even have the symbol on the side of the arms there. So he does come with his little blaster, as well as the V-Lancer. So the V-Lancer looks really nice because the gold paint. I actually really do like that. Now, obviously on the show, it had different colors and stuff, but I mean, for a weapon, rather than your standard like white color or even red, because it's the Red Ranger, some gold is nice, to, you know, a nice change of pace. So I do like the look of the weapon. It looks pretty cool. And you have your blaster there. This can, of course, the blaster can stick on the side if you wanted to. The V-Lancer cannot. It doesn't have a peg or anything, but it's not meant to. But yeah, I mean, overall, he looks great. I think just the chest piece, the design, everything just works really well. I do like it. I do have, for comparison, one of the Lightspeed Rescue Red Rangers from when the show was on TV. Now this one I think was like the one that was all armored up, so this was not like your standard Lightspeed Rescue Red Ranger, but for comparison, it is even bigger. So it was, I don't know how big this is, 6.5 inches maybe, something like that, if this is 5 inches. Maybe 6 inches, something like that. But as you can see, this 5-inch one is a lot more accurate than this. In fact, this is like Rangers on steroids. You guys are complaining about muscular Rangers. You know, at least I've heard complaints in the past. Look at this guy. Like, look at him. He's like a beast. What is this? This is insane. So at least they've kind of toned that down, and this is a bit more realistic right there. So I do appreciate that. And there's some slight differences with the helmet and everything. But overall, really nice figure. I really do like the Lightspeed Rescue one. Now this Wild Force figure right here, this one is gorgeous to me. I actually really like this one. I mean, here's the design. I mean, the design is already interesting enough. The whole, you know, lion thing they got going on. The gold, as I said, really pops out, which looks great. But just like the chest piece design, the way that the gold and the black, it's very bold and it stands out. So like as soon as you look at it, it like, boom, it really stands out and looks really nice. I mean, that just looks really good. The helmet looks great, especially with the extra like orangish color that they added on there. You know, they could have gone and kept it all red and not really done that detail, but the fact that they added it kind of makes it stand out a bit more, and I think it actually looks really nice. Yeah, really cool. Some great detail on the belt buckle as well, as you can see. Just overall, a really solid figure. I actually really do like this Wild Force one. It looks really good. You do have that little thing there. Is this the Red Lion Fang, maybe? I don't know. That's the back of the box lists that one. And he has this as well, which it's nice to have some gold weapons. So yeah, this does peg in to the side as well. So I'll just show you that real quick. So it kind of fits in nicely because it's all gold and everything. So pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, overall, this figure is great. I really do like this. I didn't have a Wild Force figure. I think the only Wild Force thing I had was the Morpher at the time, the Growl Morpher. I never actually had the figure, so nice to finally have one. Then we have Ninja Storm. So here's the Red Wind Ranger, Shane, and he looks pretty good. You know, he does have that interesting design because you have the gray on there, right there, and yeah, I mean, but it does look good. He has his Morpher, as you can see, very simple design on the belt buckle, but the helmet looks great. There's some little up close look right there. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. And he has his ninja sword right there as well. So overall, a pretty good figure right there. For comparison, I did have the Ninja Storm figure that released with the show. Now, as you can see, during the Ninja Storm season, these figures were much bigger, I guess. Probably 6 inches is roughly what I'm going to be guessing right now. I don't have a ruler or anything, but I mean, as you can see, it's very much, you know, very similar comparison. The helmet doesn't have like those white lines around it. I don't know which one is more accurate. Actually, it looks like the white lines are accurate just looking at the back of the box. So, I mean, yeah, I suppose it might have looked a little bit better with the white lines now that you kind of mention it, but it doesn't look completely bad or something without it. I didn't really pay too much attention to it, so that kind of tells you that it didn't really stand out too much to me. Now, obviously, the chest piece is different, but that's because this one had the gimmick of lighting up. Now, mine has since died out, so it doesn't really light up. But otherwise, that's accurate to have the white symbol on there. But that is that. That is the Ninja Storm Red Ranger. On to Jungle Fury, which I never had the chance of getting a Jungle Fury figure. And this guy looks awesome. He might be my favorite one. I think he is my favorite out of the set. I think the design of the Jungle Fury suits was always very interesting just because of how different it was. There was no belt, which made it very unique. And I think it actually translates really nicely to this figure, just the way that they did it. I love the black, like look at it, the black going down the arm right there, and then down on his back especially, so much detail there. It just looks awesome. The black going all the way down to on top of the gloves. I really like the look of this figure. I think it looks awesome. Very solid figure. Sometimes the simple designs are the ones that really stand out even more. You know what I mean? Because it like your eyes are drawn to this portion of the body right there. And I mean, that's just what the design is. It's very simple, so it's very accurate to the design. So yeah, props to them for doing something like that. You got the Jungle Chucks right there, so he does have that weapon, as well as this weapon here. So let me actually take this out. So this is 2 pieces, so he can, I guess, hold him, oops, how does he hold him? I thought he would hold it like this, right? But this arm doesn't seem to want to hold it. This arm will hold it, but this arm is like, kind of has a loose grip, so it's not really holding it that well, but I guess you can hold it as 2 separate pieces, or you can combine these, so it just goes in like that, and then you can have them somewhat hold it. The right hand doesn't really have as much of a grip, at least on mine specifically, but still, however you want to have them pose it, or whatever the case, I suppose you could have them grip it like the middle somehow. Like if I have them, is this gonna work? Yeah, maybe I'll try this hand. That kind of works, you know, if you want them to grip it, something like that. But yeah, I mean, just definitely, it's nice to actually have just different weapons that you can kind of choose how you want to display him, you know, which weapon you want to use or anything like that. It looks pretty cool. But, you know, he has his signature Jungle Chucks as well, so you got that. But overall, really solid figure. I really like the look of it, not just from the front, but like I think the sides, this looks pretty cool to me. And the back just looks really nice. I really do like the way that this figure turned out. Then we have the RPM Red Ranger right here. Ranger Operator Series Red. And this guy also looks pretty good. I do like the way that he turned out as well. Some nice solid paint. The silver looks really nice on him there. Some good detail there. And yeah, the helmet looks good too. They put the yellow on it right there up front. Overall, just some really nice detail on it for a 5-inch figure. He does come with 2 weapons here. He has his Nitro Blaster as well as his Street Saber. So pretty cool to have both of those weapons. The actual RPM Ranger that released when RPM was on TV, I think it came with both of those, but they were just all completely gray. So at least we have one that's red is better than gray, I suppose, and this one's kind of has some red and some silver, so that's kind of nice, I guess. So there's that. For comparison then, so that one that I'm referring to, here it is right here, and it is a bit taller, as you can see. In terms of the detail, I mean, it's very similar pretty much. Just because he's taller, it's slightly elongated, I guess, but very similar detail, just you don't have like the white lines on the side there, but that is accurate to the show, so it is a bit more accurate, I guess you can say. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, pretty solid. I do like it. And last but not least, Samurai Gold. And probably my most disappointing one, to be honest. It's funny, because I think in the last wave, I think the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger was my most disappointing, and I think this one is too. And I think the main reason is the gold. I mean, they all use this nice shiny gold on all these Rangers here, But this is not like the same gold, I don't think. Like, look at this, compare. That's not the same gold. This weapon has a shiny gold. This is a very dull gold. And I think that is my biggest issue with it, because he looks very dull. Even the blue, the dark blue that goes with it, I mean, that is kind of how it's supposed to be, but it just, in comparison with everything, it looks so dull. And so that kind of stands out. It looks like somebody, like all the colors are washed out on him or something. I mean, in terms of the details, you know, he looks perfectly fine. I mean, it's very simple design anyways. The helmet looks good. I think it turned out really nicely. You know, he does come with the Barracuda blade in 2 different parts, and you can attach this part, you know, on the back right there, the holster, and it will slide into that as well. So let's kind of, let me just do that real quick to show you. So this does slide in, which is nice, and you can attach it on his back like so. So that's pretty cool. I do like that. But yeah, I mean, it's too dull looking. A gold ranger is supposed to be gold, you know what I mean? But this is, and gold to me is shiny, so that's kind of my issue with it. Not that it's really any much better than, here's the 4-inch Gold Ranger that released, and so it's nice to actually have a Gold Ranger in a same size, you know, as the other Rangers now, because we only had a 4-inch one. But actually, in comparison, this guy is like orange. I really didn't even completely fully realize it until you really have them side by side, just how orange the 4-inch one looks. So in that sense, I suppose the 5-inch one is more accurate, which is good. But it's still not really as good as I would like it to be, I guess. But wow, this guy really was orange. Look at that. Like, you wanted an orange Ranger. There you go. I know they did release him again with a slightly different shade gold, maybe more gold than it is now, but wow, that's crazy. But yeah, so it's better, but, oops, knocking stuff over. Better, but still, I would do much, you know, I think they could have done even better with this. It's too dull for me. I like shiny. So that is that. Those are all of the new 5-inch figures that have been released. And overall, I really do like them. Now let's kind of do a comparison with these, with the entire group of 5-inch figures. There we have it, folks. These are all of the 5-inch Power Rangers released in the Super Megaforce toy line. It's a little mini legendary battle right here, and it just looks awesome. I mean, look at this. This is just great. I mean, you have the Super Megaforce Rangers right here leading the charge, a couple of the other 6 Rangers there, and then a mix of some of the newer figures and some of the ones in the previous wave, just a whole mix of everything, and it just looks awesome together, and I can't wait to have the rest of the Red Rangers, and I think they have Titanium Ranger, Omega Ranger, some of the other ones planned. Oh man, and all the Mighty Morphin Rangers too. This is going to be epic. I can't wait to have a full set of all these 5-inch figures. I'm going to throw in Prince Vicar and the X-Borg, you know, in here. Why not? Just to kind of show you all the 5-inch figures. Now, obviously, it would be these guys against Vicar and X-Borg and not with them, but just for the sake of having all the 5-inch figures together, I think this just looks great. So yeah, I mean, look at that. That's pretty epic. So overall, the new Wave 4 5-inch figures, as you can see, they're all mixed into here and they fit in very nicely. It's awesome to finally have at least one Ranger, you know, at least the Red Ranger from every season, or so far almost every season. They're planning to do every season, because it just looks great to have them all together, you know, one size. Pretty cool. And overall, they all look pretty good. A couple minor things, you know, like the Gold Ranger is kind of dull and little things like that, but overall I really do like the figures, and I think they've done a very nice job of them. So if you are a Power Rangers fan, if you are a collector, these figures are definitely ones to get. So do that, go collect them, have your own little legendary battle, because this is just epic. I mean, look at that. Epic right here. Really cool. I'm happy. So that is that. Stay tuned for more Super Megaforce reviews in the future coming from me. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because I will continue to build this legendary army right here and show you even more reviews of these figures as they release. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you guys later.